The final week of the Overwatch Open is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the desk for the Overwatch Open. I am Alex Machine Richardson, and we have, like I said, one final week. Two more teams will secure those guaranteed spots in the playoffs. The rest, we're battling for points. It does, as cliched as it sounds, come down to this. And we've gone and ripped one American off the desk and popped another one on. I've already said my name. I'm Alex Machine Richardson, but I've got a new face to introduce to you. New to some, likely not many. It's none other than Ben, otherwise known as Fish Sticks. Dude, how are you doing?
Dude.
It was a surprise to me. I just opened the door. I was like, that's Fish Sticks. Oh my God. Hey,
yeah,
bro.
man, I'm really glad to be here. It's been a while since I've casted Overwatch, but it couldn't be at a better time as we're getting closer and closer to the $300,000 finals for this tournament. Again, this is the last qualifier, so we're going to figure out who goes on to the playoffs. I'm really excited to be here, of course, with ZP as well.
Yeah, I mean, blowing the dust off of the Overwatch then. It's been a while for you. We can't wait to see what you've got, boy, and what the Europeans and North Americans have got as well. But, of course, friendly face ZP is joining him. Dude, you've had a week just hanging out in London again. You promised me last week that you'd do some touristy things. Did you?
I did do some touristy things. I ran around. I saw Buckingham Palace, which is sort of
That's something.
It's neat. And really just sort of took time to walk around and just note the fun parts of London.
How do you feel about the tube?
Honestly, it's
Love
better
it or
than a
hate
lot
it.
of public transportation in the U.S.
It really is, actually.
Yeah.
You might complain as a European.
No, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
My last time
It's
public
really good,
transportation
actually.
was the BART in San Francisco, and the tube is much better than the BART.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, when you go to cities that don't have infrastructure like that, you realize, you know, we've got pretty good. We've got a pretty sweet here in London. Of course, that's where we are hanging out here in London, UK. Of course, not necessarily where we'll be staying, though, as they're battling to get to Atlanta for the ELEAGUE arena. That's where the finals will be played. But before we do any of that, before we talk about this week and set the scene for you guys at home, we're going to take this opportunity to go ahead and reflect upon what happened in week 3. Two teams secured those spots. Let's have a look how they got there.
Now Additonian on that Reaper himself, trying to pull off some of those amazing Death Blossoms that he's seen from Freed. But look at that, the Earthshatter combo. Twitty, 5 kills to his name. Everyone was in that hallway, and Twitty just said, don't worry, guys, I got this.
On the way, they open up here with the Transcendence, buying even more space. Earthshatter coming in here from Ruster. 4 people knocked down, but Flippy with the counter. The Deadeye takes out 4. This fight getting very brawly indeed. Flippy with the Deadeye keeping things alive after a wonderful Earthshatter by Ruster. Really just having himself a game, and this is where he went off out of nowhere, basically. Took out Minstrel, carried it through, just left clicks all the way, found Waz, and just made it look easy. He was playing Duck Hunt at the expense of Team Liquid there. I think our tier should be doing a better job of stopping Icefield. I don't really know, but here we go. Next fight is underway. Creation is moving into a point, but the Graviton Surge is already out right now. Icefeld with the quad kill, make it 5, just exploding all over. And there's even a taunt at the
disrespect.
end.
I love
it. Oh my goodness. It absolutely was, and Reunited bring themselves from the depths there. They're going to have to hold for quite a while. If LG wins even one fight, that's going to be it. But there's the Graviton, 3 people coming in. Here comes Volataja, the Pulse Bomb fall through. A triple kill from Volataja, setting that up. And Reunited not going quietly on this map. They're saying to LG, you must beat us at least one more time.
As the beat gets dropped for the defense, Torque tries his best to get some action off the Death Blossom. Mezer goes down, but Waz still in full health. We had Nicholas with the Pulse Bomb, actually taking out several members of the defense. Now following up with a 4th kill. Excellent play there. That might be an incredible play of the game.
Either way, both teams getting into it right now. Saber now finally goes down here from TSM. Torque able to take out Coolmat here. And with IDDQD, the Pulse Bomb connects. A triple kill once more. And Dorado, thus far for Fnatic, has truly been the IDDQD show. All right, well, Bud's right now looking to put the dagger in the heart of TSM, setting up here on the Death Blossom. This could be game-ending. This could be huge. He's going to drop in. Here comes the Q. A double, now triple kill for Buds. Setting it up, takes out Lucio. Make it 5. And Buds has just killed TSM.
Game over, man. Game over.
Game over, man. He sounded like Shaggy there. That was fantastic. That was a great week. Nice to see the real highlights there, and perhaps some lowlights if you are a TSM fan, as they did get ripped apart by Buds at the end of that one. all across the board, I think one of the big takeaways from last week's EP, just while we hang on it for just a moment, was this payload tracer showing up. Good to see Icefell and Nicholas, I believe, were the two kind of innovating with that.
Yeah, Icefell came in. We saw IDD QD absolutely tearing the NRG with it as well. So, I mean, really, Tracer came out in a big way on those payload maps, just in general, where we haven't seen her quite as much. Usually you saw her more on King of the Hill, but teams have been mixing her in a little bit more often to very good results. And, I mean, just in general, good week of Overwatch overall.
You a fan of the Tracer on the payload, Ben? You think it can work? There's a place for it?
Tracer's the type of character that, in the right hands, can be an absolute monster. But if you think about the entire world of Overwatch, there's only a handful of people that can play her at that level, and you just mentioned a couple of them. So I like to see just any kind of variation, because it has been a little bit
it changes.
Consistent, I mean,
we've had the beauty of doing these like week by week, and every single patch the meta shifts. Like we saw, you know, Wave Goodbye to Mercy's week 1, then we had Zenji, and then you've had Tracers showing up now. It's really has been a bit of an adventure. And for now, though, we are going to go ahead and let you guys know how on earth to get involved with us. We're shouting words at you, but if you want to shout words at us, you can using the hashtag OWOpen. That is what we love, and that is what we cherish. If you need all the information as well, I know we're not necessarily providing everything you need. It's available at overwatchopen.com. But the hashtag, I'll say you one more time, hashtag OWOpen. This is me making a hashtag with my hands. I really should stop that. I'm addicted. I am at this point in time. But either way, social media done and dusted. Let's explain how this all works. It's called Overwatch Open, meaning anybody can sign up. And that's what we're going to go ahead and just throw up into your faces now because of the 256 spots. It is crazy. It does all start with you guys. If you sign up, you can compete. And that's, of course, at FACEIT.com. You can go ahead and battle through the brackets and meet some of the world's best. The cream of the crop of the Overwatch, well, remaining cream of the crop. Of course, some of these teams have already got their feet up and watching now after locking in those spots for the playoffs. But if you want to go ahead and try your hand at it, you can. Of course, this is the final chance for you to do so. Group stages are as thus. And then there's 16 teams which will be flying into the Atlanta ELEAGUE arena, battling for $300,000. It is definitely a very exciting premise, and I love that Overwatch so soon has got so many of these exciting tournaments to look forward to, and this is just going to be one of them, the ELEAGUE arena at the Turner Studios. You get to be on the American telly box, and I mean, I have no idea about TBS. I've been there once. I think I watched a couple of pizza commercials. That's about all I saw on TBS, but there is some cool things on there. And alongside it, you can see, of course, Misfits, Rogue, and Reunited. These are the 3 teams that have been locked in and are so damn happy to be there. Alongside them, though, are the points secured as you work your way through the brackets. Anox, big in week 1 and 2, now falling by the wayside. 30 points for them, though. It's more a question of seeding than anything else. And alongside them, the real question marks are these 16 kind of point crew. You got Pretz, Melty, Overwatch Kings, Immortals, Bringos. All of these guys are going to have to pull their A game out right now. These are the ones you watch. This kind of joint 5th, these 5 teams at joint 5th, that is where things really do heat up now, Ben, because the further they get through these brackets, the harder chance they have of actually picking up a spot here. Yeah. Any names stand out?
Well, there's one that really stands out, guys, and that's the Immortals name, because it's brand new as of, I don't know, like, I don't even know if it's actually been officially announced, by the way. The logo's there, so I'm assuming it has been.
Let's do it.
But this is a new team that is kind of the mix between We United, which was led by Too Easy, and a new team, or a team that has been up and coming, Oh No, I believe. They've kind of merged, and they've been picked up by yet another major esports team. So every single week we are seeing more acquisitions, more players playing under new banners, and it's really exciting as an Overwatch fan. But you're right, I mean, like, if you take a look at this, a bunch of people stuck at 5 right now, a bunch of people at 3, and this is the final qualifier, so they're fighting for seeding, which is incredibly important going into the playoffs. It's
going to be such a big weekend. Of course, coming up today, you can see that we will be starting with the boys Bringos. They are in that joint 5 party, and they're going up against EXA, a team who are going to have to do a whole lot more than just getting these points. They're going to have to go ahead and climb through this towards the semi-finals, and if they wanted to have enough competitive points. There's, of course, the Italian roster EXA going up against the Swedes Bringos. Now, these names, this Bringo name ring a bell to you, ZP? I know you were trying to explain it to me before. What's the story here with these Swedes?
So Bringos, they've effectively been gatekeepers of EU. They have never been on top in EU, pretty much ever. However, they have been the team you need to beat to even think about challenging the top, because they've always been in the top 8. They've played in basically everything, going all the way back to the beta stages of Overwatch. So for Bringos, certainly they want to take this opportunity to try and rise up the ranks, but going into this matchup, this is where they want to defend their gatekeeper position and firmly win this. Otherwise, how could they ever possibly rise to the top?
Now, this is always an interesting discussion. We've used the term gatekeeper quite often, and I think that's been established quite quickly as a team that, you know, they will beat anybody beneath them and cannot beat anyone above them. They're just kind of locked in this very common position. I mean, I looked at their recent results. They've recently lost to, here we go, Melty, Creation, Reunited. These are 3 teams that you see above them in the standings. Melty an exception, actually, alongside them. Is this something that you've seen teams break through yet, Ben, or is this something that no one's proven that they can break the gatekeeper name?
Well, I think the thing to keep in mind with this team is they have stuck together for such a long time. They have played in dozens of Overwatch tournaments, I think dating all the way back to the Ghost Gamer Opens back in the beta. This team has been playing together for such a long time, which says something, right? I mean, even though they haven't been able to crack into the top 5 of Europe or so, they've been on the cusp for such a long time, which bodes well. I think that we should expect good things from this team. They're Swedes, which means they're probably really good at video games.
They have to be good at video games.
So, you know, I got high hopes for this team.
Okay, I believe you.
I would say this for the gatekeeper teams in general is that usually they're missing one key part or just one adjustment to really put them over the top. The best example I could give would be Misfits. They were formerly known as Graviton Surge, and there was a point where you'd rank Graviton Surge pretty much equal with, at the time, Northern Gaming Blue, now Bringos. You kind of saw them in the same tier, but they made some change-ups to their roster, and now they're arguably the top team in EU.
So what were those changes? Was it 1, 2 players?
The biggest thing was that they added in Zapri.
Right.
They removed a hitscan DPS. They threw in Zapri, and Zapri isn't even on hitscan DPS all the time anymore, but he was a very solid addition to their team. And by the way, for those watching at home, he made his debut just playing on more amateurish teams, and he got scouted. He got picked up. So if you're at home going, how can I get into these tournaments? Definitely look for your opportunity to get in, because even if your first team doesn't work out, top teams are always scouting for new players.
And that's what's always so frustrating when people say, well, I just haven't had the opportunity. You make that opportunity for yourself. I mean, I love that Zapri story. There's evidence of it all over. Organization, I saw a Reddit post about someone who just got scouted through the ranks. They were one of the highest ranked players, an individual. They got an email saying, hey, bro, you seem pretty good. Do you want to try? I mean, this is something that you can do yourself, and actually we'll focus on the maps for just a moment because they have been on screen for quite a while. We've got our best of 3 locked in. Lijiang, Hollywood, and Nepal. Nepal? Nepal? Excuse me.
Close enough.
Nepal. Dangerously close to the areola. But anyway, Hollywood is the only payload we're going to be seeing, or not payload, excuse me, the assault. And then you got Lijiang and Nepal. Now this... I have broken my brain. Nepal.
All right,
guys.
so we got 2.
Talk about it while I
maps.
just fix myself.
Well, this is a return to sanity. We saw so much Ilios over the past 2 weeks. It sort of broke the Overwatch trend in many ways.
Yeah.
Seeing Lijiang and Nepal here, it definitely feels like it's a return to normalcy, if nothing else. I feel at home.
You do. I mean, we still don't see that much Nepal. I mean, Hollywood's a mainstay. Yeah. Lijiang, where does that kind of pop up, Ben, in the kind of the tiers of maps? You've got your Dorados and your Hollywoods, and then it kind of comes in second?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it seems to be one of the more popular of the King of the Hill maps, at least. Some folks love them, some folks hate them, some folks feel middling about them. But as far as out of the pool go, the 3 King of the Hill maps, definitely Lijiang is one that people tend to like.
But is this unfamiliar to see 2 King of the Hills in a best of 3? That's not something you see so often, right?
Yeah, honestly, I think this does give a chance to the underdogs here.
Right.
EXA, King of the Hill, it's less about really crazy in-depth strategies as the map progresses, more about just it's all about the skill and the team coordination. So if anything, I think this does help out the team that's a little bit underdog here.
Do you agree with that sentiment? I'm seeing nods from you, ZP. You think kind of King of the Hill is the underdog's playground?
Generally speaking, yes, especially if you're a newer team. There's not quite as much advanced strategy that goes into these King of the Hill maps like Lijiang and Nepal. They're more about mechanics, but that can be a double-edged sword too, because sometimes the top teams are just top because they do have crazy good mechanics, and then you're challenging them on their battlefield, and that's bad. However, I would say that Bringos overall, their strength is that they have been together for a really long time, and less so that they have players that are just absolutely killing everyone. So I think when going up against Bringos, bringing them to 2 maps like Lijiang and Nepal, I think it's a good choice.
Let's see how it works out for them then. EXA versus Bringos, the Swedes versus the Italians. It's a best of 3, round of 16 in our final week of the Overwatch Open. It's Fishsticks and ZP to guide you through.
All right, let's get into the ZP first game of the day. And as Machined mentioned, we do have, it's 2 teams that are actually almost entirely, in fact, entirely comprised of one nationality, which is kind of cool here as we do get into the map. Let's see how things unfold. Very similar rosters for both teams, except for we do this time have a Reaper for EXA and a Tracer instead on the Bringos side. Which do you prefer, ZP?
I definitely prefer running the Tracer here. Zaf has actually shown us pretty good Tracer play in the past, and we've seen teams have great success with a Tracer, both in the past and currently with Tracer. Both teams trying out, though, in the beginning here, 5v5. Both Winstons going down. Sad day to be a Winston right now, as both teams right now just trying out poke. And right now, EXA actually slight positioning advantage as they get onto the point. We'll see if it pays off, but Ladano able to take out ambush from long range. Now it's going to be Bringos on the assault as Ladano picks up the double.
Wow.
Now a triple for Ladano, just opening up EXA.
Yeah, this has been opened like a book now as EXA falls way too quickly. They didn't even get a single kill in that engagement besides the early Winston pick. So very easy capture, first capture here for Bringos. Looking pretty strong here, and man, ZP, is this just the new standardized meta that you're gonna see a Winston and you're gonna see a Zarya almost every single time as the tanks on King of the Hill?
You've been seeing Winston Zarya even on payload at times, so that's how good it is. And yeah, teams are really liking Zarya as of late, more so than the past. Both teams still trading out here right now. Both Winstons going down once more, but Ladano being the fall through in the back line that right now EXA is not getting from Carnifex.
Yeah, turns out, guys, McCree pretty good, especially in these ranges, in that courtyard area. It just feels like McCree is such a strong pick at any given time on any given map. We're seeing that coming from Ladano, who just continues to rack up the kills. And it's just looking all too one-sided right now, even though EXA on the Gosu Gamers rankings is actually pretty high up in Europe. They're a talented team coming out of Italy. Just looks like the experience is paying off here for, of course, Bringos.
Fireworks are coming out here. Soundbearer is out here from the side of EXA. Bringos holding on to the Soundbearer, not dropping out. Here comes the Pulse Bomb. The Pulse Bomb Wombo from Zaf takes out 3, falls on with 1 more. That was Shade setting him up there, and they were even able to save their defensive ults in that, Fish Sticks.
Oof, a little bit too easy, it looks like right now, although there is a slight ult advantage for EXA. Let's see if they can make anything from this. No support ultimates, though, so it's going to be difficult to break on in without that Lucio ultimate, which was just used in the last fight, and actually both of their support ultimates used. So very nice stuff to hold on to those for Bringos.
Yeah, Bringos, they open up this fight with the Soundbearer. It makes it very hard for EXA. They already go down 3 members, Zaf in the backline cleaning up, and they're going to have to back out. But the problem is here is that even if they back out now, I'm not sure they're going to be able to get on the point in time for a good contest, as Bringos is now at 92%.
Yeah, we just did see Harambe jump off into the distance. He knew that he was dead. Might as well not give the other team ultimate and commit suicide there, jumping off the edge of Nepal. And EXA, no time is left. The first point is easily going to go to the hands of Bringos.
Yeah, I mean, let's break down what happened there for EXA. 2 things really stand out to mind. One is that Ladano had a really good game, but Carnifex was basically silent the entire game. You can't have that happen in your McCree versus McCree battles. Furthermore, going into it, you look at what happened here. They used both support ults going into this fight, and they got full countered by Graviton and the Pulse Bomb. So, in general, EXA's ult usage not as good as it could be, and certainly Carnifex is going to have to bring it here. But in fact, he's going to be going Tracer here as we enter the Garden here in Lijiang.
All right, so no McCree at all here for EXA, and I'm not sure if I like this a lot, ZP, because this map does tend to be more open, and you're not going to be in the super close quarters all of the time. So I do feel like this is a good map for McCree. What do you think, CP?
It is a very good map for McCree. There are points in these maps where you don't run the McCree, but this is not one of those stages. McCree, very, very useful on the stage. I mean, it does happen from time to time, but he does have more of a playground here with his range shots and all the rest, as Ladano opening up once more, takes out Fighter. Fighter basically dying first in every fight, going for the Winston engage, not quite getting the follow-up he's looking for. Ladano does go down, though, so it's not the worst trade-off from EXA. In fact, they're going to start tearing into this Bringo squad. 1 more kill, and they should have the first capture, so the turnabout is real.
All right, signs of life for the Italian squad now, with a pretty nice advantage there. Of course, getting a couple kills means that they're going to be building their ultimates just that much faster as well. So it should be pretty well stacked for this next fight, although it does look like both teams are getting pretty close to stacked up as they do pass around the point, and Harambe is going to jump in first, drops the bubble. Of course, there you have Zarya keeping that monkey alive just a little bit longer, but the kills are already going to EXA, so we may have spoken too soon. The first point did look very dominant, but very quickly going the way again of EXA. That's a clean wipe.
It's a really good open here for EXA. Now, what you have to look here is how are they going to go as the ultimate phase of the game begins here. Both teams about to have a whole lot of ult up, but Carnifex definitely having a much better game right now thus far on the Tracer. Was silent on the McCree, not silent at all on Tracer, so take a look at what's going on here. EXA going to be opening up here with the Sound Barrier, Graviton, Death Blossom. Bringo's going to have a Sound Barrier Transcendence of their own, but here we go. The Graviton is out. Here comes the Pulse Bomb. Wombo combo on the menu. Nutty B goes down. Mintz goes down as well. It's a 6v4 in favor of EXA. And Bringo's going to have a hard time bringing this one back.
Yeah, EXA continues to dominate here. First map entirely one-sided towards Bringo's. Second portion of Lijiang Tower entirely one-sided for EXA now as they hold on and they have an ultimate advantage to boot still. And yeah, look at this positioning too. Pretty aggressive. I don't know about Tracer in this position, but it seems to be working so far for EXA. What do I know?
Yeah, for EXA, I mean, they definitely have the L advantage going this next fight. Bringo's going to have to do some degree of heroics, but they need to win this fight. If they don't, it's almost going to be impossible to bring this back given the time that is left. So they're coming in off both sides. They will bring the Sound Bearer out here from EXA, but EXA takes out Zaf to start the fight. It's already a 6v5. The counter Sound Bearer is out here from Bringo's. In comes the Pulse Bomb. Does not connect, but Bringo's still having trouble getting in on the point.
Yeah, Bringos, they lost their Tracer in that engagement a little bit too quickly. They're gonna be, EXA is actually forced to use their Zenyatta ultimate, so that does bode well now for Bringos as they're finally getting a couple kills, make that a whole bunch, so just as time was ticking down, finally hits 99%, Bringos has recaptured the point.
Well, Ladano, again, was a big part of that. Not only was getting poked to begin with to really force EXA back, but he was also the one who completed the kills as well. So big plays coming up from Ladano. Good, solid, patient play by Bringos to bring that back, but now they have to hold this for the rest of the map. Again, this is one of the easier maps to do that on. It's hard to retake this once you lose it given the distance. Here comes Apto, Pulse Bomb Apto ready, throws it in, does not get what he's looking for. Ladano in the backline, Deadeye out, will take out Lucio. That's one of the worst heroes to lose early on a fight as Shades will get 2 kills in the back.
Yeah, and the Monkey tries to run for his life, but Fighter is going to once again dive into the pit. Doesn't want to give that ultimate charge. Even more kills picked up here by Ladano, just hitting those shots from long distance. And they're going to keep their advantage, keep their positional advantage. They do not have an ultimate advantage. There's an engagement here by Adrenaline. Going to drop the Zarya ultimate, and that is good. They do get a kill, make that 2. And this is looking good now for EXA to finish off this point.
This is the danger zone right now for Bringos. Bringos must turn this back in their favor. A lot riding on Ladano right now. If they lose this point, they have to keep it in overtime, but Ladano is going to go down the Carnifex, and EXA well positioned to even this up 1-1. On Lijiang. It would take a true miracle from Bringos to bring this back now.
Yeah, and you used to kind of see that potentially be possible back in the day when we did see multiple hero stacking, back in the day before the changes did come to overtime, but not really so in the current meta.
You have to earn your miracles now. You can't just hope that the cavalry will save you. But overtime right now quickly burning down. The longer overtime is in progress, the quicker it burns out, so you can't keep throwing heroes on the point, but that's EXA striking right back and really just a strong hold for them after their first cap to buy themselves most of their capture points.
Yeah, and who doesn't love an underdog story? You don't actually see a ton of Italian players at the pinnacle of esports these days. So I'm actually, you know what, I got to root for EXA, the underdogs, a little bit more unknown, coming from a region that doesn't typically get the spotlight too often. Let's see what they can do here, ZP.
Yeah, I mean, for EXA, I mean, this is a good opening. Of course, this is just one map. Even if they lose this map, they will get another chance. But taking a round, that's what you want to see here. And Bringos definitely cannot rest easy as we move forward here to the Sanctum phase of Lijiang. Or sorry, Control Center.
Yeah, and Control Center, actually, this is one of the points, this is the one point, I think, where it makes the most sense to run without a McCree and run with more of these close-range heroes. So we do see EXA opting for that with a Tracer and a Reaper on their DPS roster here. It's going to be an engagement by Fighter jumping right into the middle of the fray, giving his team a little bit of space to breathe, but no kills actually picked up at all.
Yeah, Ladano able to take out Carnifex in the back line. Down goes Ambush as well. Zap went all the way to the back. Even though Fighter had a good rush in and dodge out, it didn't matter. They weren't even concerned with him because they were picking off the squishies in the back. Ladano got to pick up a second on the link, and this will be a first cap for Bringos.
All right, Fighter is a fighter. Backs off, survives, and will rejoin with his team here in just a second. But the first capture has gone the way of the Sweets. And this is do or die for this map, as we are on the third and final point. Let's see how EXA decides, or excuse me, not third and final.
The good old days
wow.
It was, but now it's 3 out of 5.
I had a brain fart. It's been, you know what, I haven't casted Overwatch since this change happened, so I'm gonna I'm going to let that one slide for myself. I know Twitch chat won't. They never forget.
Now, Twitch chat is probably going to be full of lulls, but it is a legacy thing here. But we take a look here. Ladano gets in, moving forward, and this is going to push EXA back once more. And Bringo's holding in strong, and look at the ult advantage they have going to the next fight. They have almost everything up, Fishsticks.
Yeah, this is definitely looking good for Bringos now. They are the overdog here. And they're about to have all 6 ultimates, and that's got to be a comfortable place to be. They actually ripped the Zarya ultimate a little bit earlier than I would have expected, but it gets the 3 kills anyway. They didn't even need to use much more than the Tracer Pulse Bomb, and that means that they're going to continue to have such a huge ultimate advantage. Luckily, though, for EXA, they have saved all of their ultimates, so they decided to we don't want to waste anything in this fight. We want to just bide our time.
So there's this idea of wiping and having it be productive or not. That's like halfway there. I think that would have been really better for EXA if they were able to bait out the Sound Bearer as well, but at least they got rid of the Graviton. But here we go, next fight is underway. Sound Bearer is out by both sides. Ladano here on the dead in the back, but it doesn't matter. Carnifex picks up the triple kill, aided by the Graviton Surge. So EXA, their ult saving will work out in their favor, and they will retake this point.
And Tracer continues to be a game changer, game in and game out. And that Pulse Bomb, as a newer player, as somebody who's less experienced, it doesn't feel that strong all the time. But if you get it in the right time, in the right place, especially when comboed with that Zarya ultimate, it can be the key to success, as Carnifex able to pick up 3 kills in that last engagement.
Yeah, and that was absolutely vital for EXA just to stay in this. If they had lost that fight, they very likely would have lost a round. They're still in the hot seat. They can't really lose another fight here, as Mint, moving right in, will be able to pop Primal Rage, making all sorts of space. And EXA, they're just going to burn ults here to try and save this, but they haven't gotten any kills off these defensive ults. But finally, in the backline, Link taking out both engines of DPS and Zap and Ladano. This is going to be a hold by EXA.
Yeah, EXA doing quite well here. And this is looking good. They only have 40% on the point, but they have regained control. They have positional advantage. Oh, Shades left with 9 HP, but because he's Zarya, he survived, and that means he has 88 charge for this next fight. That's actually really important.
That is incredibly scary when a Zarya is coming at you with the intent to melt your face off, and the Graviton Surge is out from Shades, does grab 2 people in. Zap and Ladano are there at the follow through. That's 2 kills here for Bringos as they open up EXA, and again, this could not be worse for EXA. They don't have a lot of buffer to spare. They might be able to force overtime here, but they're not going to have good positioning when they do so. But Ladano still going off, gets another pick, moving forward. Down goes Winston, a triple kill for Ladano, and if there was going to be a last gasp, Ben, I don't think it's happening now.
Yeah, there's no time left, and here comes the zoning ultimates. They're gonna just have this victory and make it happen. The Zenyatta tried to zoom in there, Zoom Yatta getting in on the point, but just a frame late, unfortunately for EXA, the Italian team. They are now facing a 2-1 deficit here, ZP.
Yep, they're going to have to try and bring it back in the next round. Could be any of the previous rounds that we have played, effectively resetting things here. But right now, one thing that's incredibly clear when looking at the play of Bringos is that they are rising and falling off of Ladano more so than any other player. Of course, there's been great plays by Shades, there's been great plays by Zaf. But you look at what Ladano has done. When he goes off, they win fights. Yeah, and the team play has also been good from the team. Bringos, they've really made use of almost every single Zarya ultimate from Shades. The Graviton Surge is ever impactful in almost any type of game, as Zarya has just made her mark on the competitive scene as of late. Yep, all right, both teams getting into once more. We are in on the Garden. This is the stage that EXA won, so friendly ground to them, a little bit of good RNG, as Carnifex right now going in, trying to win this Tracer v Tracer battle, trying to put his team over the top, and right now he's looking like he almost has it. And he will get zapped for the first pick, so Carnifex coming out strong once more. I'm definitely impressed by Carnifex's Tracer here. He's hit a whole bunch of pulse bombs, but that tracking looked fantastic, especially against a player like Zaf. You'd imagine that they might come out on top, but here we see Carnifex going absolutely nuts, getting a flurry of kills, and that's going to be the first cap here for EXA. Thus far, the Garden has been Carnifex's playground. And once more, it's EXA taking first control of the point. He's going in forward, looking for the stick. Did he get the stick? He did not, but that's okay. Tracer builds Pulse Bomb up really quickly. Obviously, it's never good to waste health, but it's less painful on Tracer as Zap once more overextends, is taken out by Adrenaline. Winston, though, is down from Bringo, so 5v5, and EXA, they're not taking any chances. Sound Bearer's out, and they're pushing in. I'm seriously impressed with Carnifex right now. Really, really showing off some excellent aim, excellent ability there.
And yeah, EXA. Excellent EXA. They're doing great here here on the Garden phase, and let's see if they can keep this momentum. Does look like Ultimate's fairly even for both teams, although a slight advantage now for BRINGOS, and they should be able to use this to their advantage. Which way will they go, though? Will they cross the bridge? It does look like they are at least beginning to cross the bridge. A little bit of charge there for Shades as the fight does continue, but that's an early, oh wow, Dragon Blade coming out. This is the first time we've seen Genji come out for a while now.
Yeah, but look at BRINGOS. They're able to weather the storm. The Sound Bearer stops Graviton Surge from meeting their doom, and they have 2 kills to start this out. Carnifex trying to bring it back, but Ladano, he will go down to that Zarya right click from long range, and EXA for a moment is looking a little bit dicey, but they are able to hold on. This will be another hold, and for BRINGOS, they're down to 1 more team push, and that's it.
Yeah, and Adrenaline, the Zarya player for EXA, should be able to get a Graviton Surge at least somewhere in the middle of the next fight, and that ultimate will change everything. So will BRINGOS be able to push in, get a kill maybe on the Zarya? I've noticed in a lot of cases, teams are focusing the Zarya first just because of how much of a threat she can potentially be. Neither team does have a support ultimate, so it's going to be just engaging the good old-fashioned way with no extra health, no extra HP, and here it begins, ZP.
Yep, they're getting into it right now. Carnifex was looking for the early pickup. The Pulse Bomb does not connect. Wow, though, able to take out Mint. I'm not even sure if that was a boot, but here comes the BRINGOS. They do get 2 kills. Will this be second burst, same as the first, as they try and come in to retake this Nowhere time? It's looking good for them. They only need 1 or 2 more kills, but here comes Link. Dragon Blade on the way, looking to put this away for EXA. Has 1 kill, looking for more. Slicing, will go down to Ladano as Ladano once more putting BRINGOS on his back. They will cap this, and they have to hold this for the rest of the round.
Yeah, pretty interesting, though, to see Ladano now opting for Reaper. Neither team playing with a McCree on this point. We talked about this just a couple of minutes ago, thinking that McCree actually is quite good in these sorts of ranges that are common on this point. But hey, both teams deciding to opt to go without him. And Zops is going to jump right into the middle of the fight, drop a Pulse Bomb, but doesn't collect anything. It's Ladano, though, coming from behind. Where was he? It seemed like he was coming from the EXA spawn somehow, able to pick up 3, and that's back to the drawing board now for EXA. They have a tiny bit of time left, obviously. Probably about 2 or 3 good pushes left to make this happen.
Yeah, and for Ladano, it's been great play. And because he's on the Reaper, it's also much harder to isolate him out. If you're on a McCree, you can dive McCree, but here comes Graviton Surge. Shade's going to get 4 people in that Graviton. There is no follow-through, though. The Transcendent just stopped anything bad from happening. BRINGOS, though, fighting right back, 5v5. Mint able to take down the other Zarya. And here comes Link, Dragon Blade at the ready, looking to put EXA over the top. Is swinging that blade, gets the double kill. And EXA just need 1 or 2 more kills here to put this round away.
That Dragon Blade there was for Italy as Link putting the team on his back there for a moment, getting a couple of kills, and we always know that when that Dragon Blade comes out, you're gonna often see a couple of kills. Unless there is a Zenyatta ultimate to counterbalance, that Dragon Blade will do work no matter what, and the kills are just raining in for EXA. They even used the Lucio ultimate, Sound Barrier. They probably shouldn't have in that last fight, but you know what? It's 99% to 59. They just have to win the next fight, and they're gonna take this point and bring it to 2-2, ZP.
All right, so at least the one good thing for BRINGOS here going forward is that they're guaranteed to get a map that they already won before. That is it for the Garden phase. But we'll see now if EXA can reverse their fortunes a little bit and have a better showing, regardless of what stage we go to next, whether it be the Night Market or the Control Center. Link, though, coming in the clutch towards the very end.
Yeah. And if you've played competitive, you know that in the team chat, it probably would have been like, oh, excuse me, guys, we don't need 2 flankers. Excuse me. Excuse me. But making it happen there with 2 of my favorite characters in the game, Tracer and Genji. Looks like they might stick with this as well, ZP. Interesting.
Yeah, and on a side note, there was actually a point in CompQ where people were just like, please don't pick McCree right after he'd gotten buffed. It's just like, wait a second, what are you guys even talking about? Either way, it is going to be the Night Market. This is where BRINGOS did have a very good run of it earlier in the set, so EXA, they're going to need to come out a little bit stronger as we move on here. Ladano is back to that McCree. Carnifex still on Tracer, not going McCree here. Yeah, staying with what has worked for him, and they are able to take out Nura immediately. Zap, though, counter-firing on the fighter, but still momentum in favor of EXA. If they get 1 more kill, they should be able to get this first point, and they do get that kill.
I'm liking what we're seeing here from EXA. The underdog striking back against a team that has played for months and months and months in competitive Overwatch since before the game even came out. BRINGOS has been together, practicing, scrimming, and playing in a whole flurry of tournaments. So this is what I would consider this a big upset. I mean, maybe there's folks in Twitch chat that know a little bit more about this team than we do, ZP, but this is looking really good and bodes very well for the Italian squad.
And for Bringos, they have to be feeling the pressure here. Certainly they have about 5, 6, 14 pushes left here, but if they do not come out on top at the end of this round, that will be it for them for this map. They're looking to move in, but they're very much tempted. Here comes Link, though. Dragon Blade on the ready, going to finish things out here. Does get taken out by Ladano towards the very end, but either way, Bringos does have to back out. They just lost way too many people at the beginning of that push.
And to me, it sort of feels like Bringos needs to focus on taking down Carnifex. He's been able to come from a flanking angle time and time again, and almost feels unopposed at times. It's if they just shifted their focus, if they used team comms and said, take down that damn Tracer. I mean, is that a really important thing for them to do here?
It is an important thing to do. Certainly, it's up to Ladano and Zaf, really. They have to neutralize Carnifex because he's been far more effective on Tracer. Soundbearer is going to come out here, though, from the Bringos. They're moving in. All cards are on the table, but they are folding out. Hang on, though. Ladano coming right back. They lose 2 in the beginning. Ladano able to take out Carnifex and the Lucio going down the Zap, so it's very close here, but Link and Adrenaline holding on, fight. And they should be able to hold this out, and it is a little bit strange fight, but in the end, EXA on top.
Zap trying to back cap, but you can't cap quite fast enough on King of the Hill for that to be a legitimate strategy, so Zappy's gonna go back to the drawing board, and they're gonna have to wait even longer, so really, at this point, Bringos only has one more solid push to make this happen.
This is map fight for them here. If they lose this fight, they lose the map. If they win this fight, they at least get to stay alive for a while and have the chance of holding on. But here they go. They're moving in. EXA is collapsing all around them. Here comes Link with the Dragon Blade once more. Is taken out by Ladano right away. Ladano in a great position to do damage, but his team is dying all around him right now. Carnifex just cleaning things up. And with the aid of Adrenaline, EXA is going to hold on, and they're going to take map number 1 away from Bringos.
I don't think anyone could have predicted this result. Although Bringos, you wouldn't call them a top 3 team in Europe. They've been on the cusp for so long, and EXA, a new face to the competitive Overwatch scene, is making it happen, especially on the back of Carnifex. Link, of course, with some great Genji play as well, but man, Carnifex's Tracer excelled in that fight.
Carnifex, he wasn't getting it done on McCree, but once he went to the Tracer, he was able to bring a level of pain that Bringos was not really dealing with effectively. Certainly, they still won a map afterwards, but the momentum shifted in favor of EXA. And if we end up going to Nepal later in the series, that's something that Bringos is going to have to deal with. But we are going to be taking a short break. We'll be right back with map number 2 here on the Overwatch Open. Stay tuned.